Welcome back to K-Drama Echoes, your home for stories written in silences, in glances, and in the soft shadows where truth hides behind the brightest lights. Today, we unfold a story shaped not by rumors or headlines, but by the quiet scars two souls carried into a drama that would heal them in ways they never expected. This is the story of Soo Hyun and Kim Ji-won, a love written in pain and perfected in healing. Every connection begins somewhere. Some start with excitement, others with coincidence. But the strongest ones often begin with the softest thing a person carries. Their hidden wounds. The ones they never talk about. The ones the world never sees. Before they ever stood before the camera as Baekhyun-woo and Hong Hae-in, they were simply two people who had lived through their own private storms. Soo Hyun walked toward Queen of Tears with a heart that had been tested by time. Fame is heavy. Heavier than anyone imagines, and he had lived through its brightest peaks and its darkest silence. There were years where he disappeared from the spotlight, not because he was gone, but because he was rebuilding himself piece by piece. Pressure had stretched him thin, expectations had weighed on him, and loneliness, the kind that comes even when millions know your name, had wrapped itself around his life. Behind his gentle smile was a quiet resilience. A man who had survived more than the public would ever know. Kim Ji-won carried a different kind of weight. Her career had risen fast but not steadily. She had moments where the world celebrated her and moments where she felt forgotten. She questioned herself, questioned her place, questioned whether people still saw her brilliance. She had been underestimated, pushed aside, misjudged, yet she never complained. She simply kept going, even on the days when going felt like the hardest thing to do. Beneath her elegance was a woman longing for something real, something grounding, something safe. And then fate, disguised as casting, placed them in the same story. Their first meeting wasn't dramatic. No sparks, no intensity. Just two professionals greeting each other with respect. But behind those polite smiles were two hearts quietly exhausted, quietly hopeful, quietly waiting for something they couldn't name. Neither of them knew then that this project would become the crossroads where their wounds and healing would intertwine. As filming began, something shifted, not in grand gestures but in the smallest details. The way Soo Hyun watched her when she spoke, giving her space to breathe, to express, to exist. The way Kim Ji-won softened around him, her walls lowering inch by inch, as if his presence made room for her to be fully herself. It wasn't romance. Not yet. It was recognition, the silent understanding of two people who had both been hurt, both been tired, both been searching for something gentle. Then came the emotional scenes. The arguments, the heartbreak, the loneliness written into their script. But when they performed, those scenes felt bigger than fiction. When he shouted in pain, there was real heaviness in his voice. The trembling sorrow of someone who had once lost his own sense of direction. When she cried, her tears didn't fall like lines memorized. They fell like memories surfacing. Their emotions moved with a depth that couldn't be faked. Fans felt it immediately. The chemistry wasn't manufactured. It wasn't forced. It was lived. Behind the scenes, their comfort with each other became undeniable. They shared small laughs between takes, fixing each other's microphones, adjusting each other's hair, leaning into each other instinctively. There was no awkwardness, no distance. Just an easy, natural warmth. Those soft touches, the gentle glances, the quiet conversations that cameras accidentally captured. They became the kind of moments editors slowed down, zoomed in, replayed, analyzed. Because in those fleeting seconds, something real flickered. Two people who had carried loneliness now stood next to someone who understood it. Two people who had been strong for too long finally found a space to relax. Two people who had survived their own heartbreaks suddenly found themselves healing, not with grand declarations but with presence. Their energy matched beautifully. Soo Hyun, calm and introspective. Kim Ji-won, warm but cautious. Together, they formed a balance that felt almost predestined. Not loud. Not dramatic, just deeply compatible in spirit. And perhaps that's why their love story in Queen of Tears struck the entire world like a storm. It wasn't polished romantic fantasy. It was raw. It was painful. It was slow, fragile, and unbelievably human. When Hyun-woo held Hae in like she was slipping away, it felt like a man clinging to something he once lost in real life. When Hae-in looked at him with fear, longing, and regret, it felt like a woman who knew what it meant to lose love through silence, not choice. Each episode felt like a confession. Each scene felt like a memory. Each line felt like truth bleeding through fiction. And when the drama exploded globally, their bond, on screen and off screen, became one of the most discussed pairings of the decade. Yet they didn't ride the wave loudly. They stayed humble, soft-spoken, almost shy about the attention. They walked with gratitude, not pride, as if they knew something deeper had happened between them, something sacred that didn't need to be defined for the world. Some fans say they healed each other. Others say their connection was destiny disguised as a script. Others simply believe that two people met at the perfect time, when their hearts were strong enough to hold someone else again. Kim Soo Hyun's eyes softened around her in ways he hadn't shown in years. Kim Ji-won's laughter grew fuller, brighter, more effortless. They became mirrors for each other, reflecting the parts they had forgotten, the strength they forgot they possessed, the beauty they forgot they carried. And maybe that's what healing really looks like. It doesn't come as dramatic change. It comes as quiet understanding. It comes when someone looks at you with gentleness you didn't know you needed. It comes when you finally stop pretending you're okay, because next to the right person you don't have to pretend. Their final scenes in Queen of Tears felt like goodbyes layered with gratitude. The kind of goodbye you give someone who helped you rediscover pieces of yourself. Their smiles weren't acting. Their tears weren't scripted. Their embrace felt like two heartbeats finally steady after years of trembling. In the end, whether their connection was friendship, artistic synchronicity, or something deeper they chose to keep for themselves, one truth remains unshakable. Their story felt real because it came from real places inside them. Places shaped by pain. Places softened by healing. Places that recognized each other across a crowded set and whispered, "I understand you." And that understanding created magic. This was Kim Soo Hyun and Kim Ji-won, a love story written in pain and perfected in healing. Thank you for watching K-Dramas Echoes, where we tell the stories that live between the lines. Until next time, stay close, stay gentle, and keep listening for the echoes.